guys, welcome to another episode of H2O. I'm so glad to see you guys. Thank you so much for all your support on our videos. I really appreciate it. So I have been getting quite a few emails from people asking me about companies that do advance payment for them to get their cargo released from either warehouses or ports or ramps quicker than having them actually being able to set up to have credit for themselves. So there's two companies that provide this service here in the logistics, in the world of logistics. One is called PayCargo, and the other one is CargoSprint. Now, what's really interesting is I've been asked numerous times which one is better. Well, I'll let you guys decide. So I've been actually privileged enough to have the CTO that actually created some of these platforms where you have annual fees. So let him tell you. Let's hear it directly from him, I guess. So, hey, Pasha, what's going on? How are you?
Hi, doing great, Mitch. How are you?
Well, thank you. You know, it's been a challenge, you and I trying to get us together. It's been interesting with the internet problems and all this crazy stuff. So I'm glad
technical difficulties.
Okay. A lot of my clients have been coming to me and asking me, hey, listen, Mitchell, I've been trying to get my cargo out of these warehouses and out of these ports, but I'm having such a big problem pulling them, and I have no choice but to use one of the two players that are here in the logistics market today, which is CargoSprint and PayCargo. Now, what's really interesting was you actually have worked or is working with both of them. So you've been in the market with both of these companies, which is interesting. And
That's
you also
right.
were the one that designed the additional fees. So like the annual fees and vice versa.
Yes.
So, all right. So now let's talk about that. You know, let's start it. So you started over at PayCargo, and I believe you were if I'm not mistaken, the CTO, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I started in 2017. That's when PayCargo introduced annual fees. So my main work was focused on building that additional functionality.
Okay, now when you started this fee, I mean, you were brought specifically just to create this platform for the annual fee?
That was the primary purpose of me being hired there. Yes, correct.
Great.
And I left this company in 2018.
So a year later?
Yes.
And so when you started, it was like, what was the annual fee for? Was it just a way to generate more revenue, or was it just something to actually help to advance the programs that are being updated within their network?
Well, the annual fee, I don't think it had a positive effect on the revenue. It had a positive effect on the profit, and it made a big difference for the bottom line of the company I was working for.
Now, the annual fee when you were there was in 2017 was what? About $100 or something?
Yes, it started in September 2017 with $100.
$100. And today, I actually looked up on both websites. I wasn't able to find anything on CargoSprint. But on PayCargo, I did see that the annual fee is now $250 a year, correct?
That's right.
So, and I could safely assume just by, the followers and just watching all these posts of marketing is that there's nearly about 10,000 people that are probably supporting the PayCargo, correct? Network.
Probably a little bit more than that, but so, roughly.
So at $250 at 10,000 people, we're talking about $2.5 million in additional revenues. Now, are these fees that are necessary? I mean, or are these just strictly just pure accessorial fees as a revenue generator?
Well, when you're trying to get your cargo from the facility, you have a few options. You can send a check with a truck driver that represents a logistical issue, or you can pay through one of the electronic providers like PayCargo and CargoSprint. So when you're paying electronically, there's less opportunity for error, and it's a more reliable way to get your cargo fast. So when you use those providers, they charge you a transaction fee. And one of them, on top of transaction fee, also charges an annual fee.
So you have an annual fee, a transactional fee.
Yes.
Now, I get the transactional fee. Mm-hmm. Like, in all fairness, we are there. Everyone's in business. So there's always, if you're going to be outlaying money, there has to be somewhat of a return. I get that. But the annual fee is what really puzzles me. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned that you also do consult on certain projects and work closely with CargoSprint as well now, correct?
I am currently now, yes.
And there's no annual fee because I couldn't find it on the website.
No,
I just couldn't
CargoSprint
find it.
only charges a transaction fee. So you only pay that fee when you pick up your cargo. You pay storage fees, and with that, it charges you a transaction fee or handling fee, and that's it. There are no other fees.
So, being that you were the CTO there at some point at PayCargo, is their system, is that fee something that can be taken out to be more competitive in the market, or is that a fee that you designed for them to assist them in other things, right? So I get it if it's a fee that's trying to maybe update their system, but it's strange because you just mentioned that CargoSprint doesn't do it, but PayCargo does. Is it like, aren't they the same systems? I mean, aren't all the financial systems almost the same?
Yeah, essentially they provide exactly the same service, allowing you to more reliably and quickly get your cargo out of the facility, but the fee structure is different.
The fee structure. So if I was, obviously my viewers keep asking me where can I find places to, kind of reduce expenses. Being that, there's only two players in this market, right? CargoSprint and PayCargo,
Right.
their hands are tied. So, our point is really to try to help, people, educate them, and especially reducing unnecessary costs. So,
Yeah.
so they're really the same platforms. Could we agree that that's correct?
Yes.
Okay. And CargoSprint does not have an annual fee, and PayCargo does. So technically, you could almost save $250 just by CargoSprint, correct? Or a year.
Yes, yes, and it's important for budget-sensitive freight forwarders, smaller freight forwarders. It makes one of the platforms much more appealing than the other.
Yeah, I could see that because I tried looking at both platforms, and I've known people that work on both platforms. Now, let me ask you a question. When it comes to the size of the forwarder, does it matter the size of the forwarder asking for the loan with respect to what those fees would be?
Well, to my knowledge, you can get on one platform you can get a loan regardless of your size.
Like a minimal loan, like
At a minimum, you just need to
1,500,
pay 50
2,000,
bucks
or
storage fee, get your cargo, and be done with it, right? So
okay.
one of the platforms, which is CargoSprint, will give you that loan for 30 days. The other platform, you have to specifically apply for credit and be approved for credit. And that only makes sense for bigger players who are looking to finance 100K and up in value.
Okay, so there are certain chains or certain kind of milestones where you get certain rates for certain amounts of loans, correct? But everyone that applies gets approved?
I can, I don't know the intricacies of CargoSprint platform. I know that they offer financing to anyone. As far as PayCargo, when the credit feature was added, when I was there in 2017, it primarily focused on the bigger players. It was loans in amounts of $250,000 and up to $1 million. So, and it was marketed to bigger players who would need a larger credit line.
Well, Pasha, it's one thing. It's really nice to know that being able to get this information from someone, especially who's designed those platforms. But it's also good for people to know the differences in both, right? So one is $250 right off the bat more expensive.
Right.
So this is good information to give the viewers. But now let's talk about something that's really been piquing my interest. I think CargoSprint and PayCargo, they're the only ones, and I guess they continuously fight. There's tons of lawsuits. They keep suing each other, and it seems like it's not even suing each other. I believe from all the stuff Mr. Joshua Wolf has been posting, PayCargo has just been consistently suing CargoSprint and losing every time. Interesting. So, but anyways, but let's go into a different world, right? So this is a world that I believe is very interesting. And the reason I'm going to bring this up is because of your background. Okay. One thing that our viewers need to know is that you've actually designed many platforms, and not only designed platforms, but you've designed programs to help logistics companies prevent you from moving cargo in the event that something catastrophic happens, right? So there was something that you designed. There was some type of what was it called? A platform that you designed.
Yeah. So when you
that if there was a storm or a tsunami going to hit, like, let's say the West Coast,
yeah,
this product, your design would tell you how to route it. Explain that to me.
Yeah, so when you're building any financial system that processes payments, you need what is called a business continuity plan. So in case something happens to the servers that run the software that processes your payments, and in United States, there needs to be an automatic fail safe. And so that even if a catastrophic event happens in California, for example, or East Coast, your payment information is intact, and your payments continue going to the facility, and you have a chance of picking up your cargo if the facility is not affected by that event. So I've built that system for PayCargo when I was there. It's an automatic fail-safe for the system continue working in an event of disaster.
That to me is mind-blowing. I can't even really delve into the complexity of that. So I'm going to kind of pass that. That's kind of past my scale of processing technology. But what I really do believe, Pasha, is that the next step coming into the logistics world is blockchain. And hold on, the reason why I'm saying that is because you currently today, you work on blockchain, correct?
I've consulted for a company that built blockchain software for investment banks for credit swaps markets. It doesn't concern commercial transactions that when you're making a payment to get your cargo, you're initiating a commercial banking transaction. But it concerns other areas of finance.
Sure. But is it possible that you could maybe in the near future, believe that in logistics, that blockchain will be actually more prevalent? Would that be the word to use?
Well, you can use, there are certain benefits of blockchain. And one of the most important ones is integrity and transparency. Transparency is that you have a history that cannot be altered. You can see exactly where the item is, whether it's your money or your cargo or any other valuable asset. And integrity is that the system is very hard to affect by detrimental events, just like a natural disaster or a hacking attempt. And the blockchain provides you a better level of security by default. So,
interesting, Pasha. So, do you think, in your professional opinion, that blockchain and possibly crypto can come play a role in supply chain?
I am a little bit taken back by that statement. The crypto specifically being used in blockchain in logistics, is a little bit outside of regulatory restrictions that we have in the United States right now. So there needs to be a regulatory framework governing those possible occurrence of those possible crypto transactions.
So, Pasha, what you're telling me is that you don't think it could work right at this point.
I think
that there could be a cryptocurrency or some type of crypto to come into logistics today. Is that what you're saying?
I think every steamship line or a payment provider can use whatever technologies they want to build their system, to maintain the systems. They can use blockchain. It's not very hard to set up.
Maersk?
Like Maersk, it will give them, it will give them better transparency and better integrity by default. But I don't see a core reason why would blockchain apply to logistics. Why, when you transferring your funds when you initiating financial transactions. It is of utmost priority to know where your money is, whether your money has been delivered or lost, right?
Right.
And blockchain gives you that instant information. It's completely transparent. So you know where your money is at any point of time, whether it's $1 or a $50 fee to pay the storage charge, or it's $100 million that for an investment or transferring of funds to another location. So that you have that default transparency and integrity for financial transactions, and that's really wanted and needed in the world of finance, because right now, most likely you are relying on a private banker or a bank to tell you where your money is. You know, they have their own technology through mobile app or a web interface. But still, those interfaces, those technologies relies on humans. So there is an opportunity. Humans do make mistakes, so there is an opportunity for
Right.
a mistake being made, and you know, your amount of funds being misreported, or you not getting the full transparent picture at any moment of time. So blockchain find that application in finance because it takes away those qualities of honesty, integrity, and transparency from humans, and it implements them into technology. So you don't need to fix those qualities from humans anymore.
But I think that's perfect. That's what we need in logistics, black and white. You know, there's a lot of gray areas. We got to start eliminating those gray areas. But let's go back to this theory that I have, or this idea, or this crazy concept that I personally think that cryptocurrency and blockchain is the future for logistics. Now, you believe strongly in the way the platform of blockchain works on the financial side, but you do have some friends and some amazing contacts in the crypto world, Pasha. That is the truth. You have some big players in the crypto world. I would really like to, if at all possible, I would like to have a show, our next segment, to talk about how crypto can play, because you don't believe right now that there's any way cryptocurrency can play a role in logistics today. You keep mentioning it.
I believe it can play a role. You know, you can put on blockchain anything you want, but I don't think there is a reason to, right? Why do you need multiple ledgers being synchronized between each other just to maintain the integrity of where your cargo is? There's not enough reason for me to believe that's an appropriate solution to the possible logistics problems that exist.
I think you're right. I mean, I think a lot of the problems we have is just a logistical nightmare when it comes to ocean carriers, transportation, containers, boxes. I agree. But I still think that the finance world always leads the path. So I think that on the next one, we should really discuss how crypto, I strongly believe, you have a friend, a close friend of yours that's in the world of crypto, in the NFTs, the crypto world, blockchain. I mean, he is like the kahuna of the kahunas. So we won't say his name and we won't say anything. We'll just have him as our special guest and have everyone come in and watch to see what their thoughts are about crypto and blockchain and transportation and logistics. So, but you know, Pasha, I really do appreciate your time. Especially, I do appreciate you really coming out and giving us this information on you know, reducing costs. One thing that I really took out of this is that, you know, my viewers want to know, if you guys are looking for a company to being able to get your cargo out quicker from these facilities that you have your freight at, you have PayCargo and CargoSprint. From what I've been told here and from what it says on the research here on the website is, if you work with CargoSprint, you do not have an annual fee of $250. That's a lot of money. So there's a cost savings right there, guys. You know, if you're looking for some cost savings, definitely on that is my go is CargoSprint. How about you, Pasha? I mean, you've worked.
If I were a freight forward, I would use CargoSprint.
CargoSprint.
It's a no-brainer. You get a loan. You don't have to worry about it paying this company until you deliver your cargo to its destination.
You know, that's so exciting. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reach out to Joshua and the owner of CargoSprint. I'm going to ask him to come on the show one day. I want to know what's going on with them. You know, I see a lot of stuff happening, and you know, I really have a lot of love for those guys. So let's keep going. So, all right, well, Pasha, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the information you've given us, and looking forward to meeting your friend on the next podcast and discussing if crypto is for logistics.
Yeah, before I go, I have just one message to your audience.
Sure, absolutely. What would you like to say?
If you feel like you've been charged a fee and it was charged without your explicit consent, please reach out to me. I'll leave my information at the bottom. As you know, I've been building those systems, so I know everything about those fees, and I will help you resolve that issue.
Pasha, that's great, man. Much love to you, Pasha. I hope you have fun down there in good old sunny Florida, and looking forward to speaking to you and our guest next week.
Thank you.
All right? Be safe and have a safe travel.